Welcome to another Milepost of the V-Twin Life. We talk motorcycles, powered by those V-Twins, why we enjoy it, what they mean to us, and just why we enjoy the open road. V-Twin Life is brought to you by crashinclothing.com, also known as Crash Inc. on the World Wide Web. Man, Brad is on a lot of stuff. You want to get some merchandise, you want to get parts, you want to upgrade stuff on your bike. He is a dealer for a lot of great companies, so check out crashinclothing.com and see what they got for you. Now, we got Wild Ass. You want to add some comfort to your ass? Man, Wild Ass has got you covered. They've got something you like. Use that promo code DWoods. Get yourself free shipping and put that ass in comfort. Can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the world in LED lighting and LED technology. Man, these got some great stuff. You want to light up your life at nighttime? You want to be seen during the day? Hey, check out Custom Dynamics. Can't forget Lexan. These guys got some great comm units. I just got the new G16s. Man, you want to talk quality? These things are awesome. Loudspeakers, plus they got some air pumps, small ones you keep in your bike. They're ready to go. So check out Lexan. So now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the V-Twin Life. I know I've kind of been on hiatus it's been a few weeks, but it's time to dive back into this. We got motorcycle season coming. So tonight I got Mr. Jon Fosdick, who runs a great motorcycle page, great motorcycle rides, Washington, and covers a lot of events. I mean, you get around when it comes to the motorcycling, and you're always posting up stuff. And I figured it'd be a great time to get you on the show. I think we ran into each other last year at the Break Your Button ride.
That sounds right. I remember that ride very well. Every time I ride with Mike Claff, it's like usually, those rides, there's always a line for the bar when you get somewhere. But when you're riding with him, the line's for the restroom every single time. It's like, wow, that was a bit in between stops, Mike, but a great ride. It's coming up again soon, I think.
2 weeks.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it.
The 17th. It's always, it's funny you make the joke about far between restroom stops. I took my dad, God, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, I took him up for one, and we stopped somewhere for restroom break, and I don't think he used it. And we got like 10 miles down the road, and he gets up, I got to pull over, and just dives off because he had to use the restroom, and comes back. Of course, everybody's gone. He's like, hey, let's go catch back up. I'm like, you don't get it, Dad. There's no route. You got to follow them and stay with the group. Oh, shit. That's why you should use the restroom at the last stop. But, oh, well, we still made the best of that one and still went down and checked out a few places.
That happens sometimes. I've had those few where you're in the middle of a ride and suddenly you're just going to have to stop and get off and borrow some bushes. And, of course, half the ride stops to check on you because they think you broke or something. And it's like, nope, I'm fine. Just moving along.
Yeah, true. Got K Solo in the chat over there. What's up, Solo? So how'd you get into motorcycle, John? Where'd it come into life for you?
Oh, man. I started when I was really young. I think I got my first bike. I must have been 7 or 8 years old and been riding ever since. On the street, off the street, you name it, since I was a kid. So it's just something I've been doing 50 plus years now. So, yeah, long family history of motorcycling. My uncles were into it. My dad, you name it. We all kind of did it. So it just goes way back with me.
Yeah, it's kind of how it was for me. It started when I was really young, and I don't know, it's like once you get into it, it's an amazing group. I mentioned a lot the motorcycle community it's a great as a whole, and just it's a lot of fun. There's so many little, I don't know what I like to say, sub communities within the whole motorcycle community, but it's full of amazing people, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I agree with that. And the big hearts, that's what I really like about it. There's always something, a fundraiser for somebody here, a benefit event for somebody there. There's always lots of people, it seems, and the community outreach a lot of times is amazing. And I really enjoy that a lot, especially helping people out that needs it. And we were just on the phone with some guys setting up, I believe, a charity poker run for sometime July. We're going to start working on that right away. So raise some money for a guy that was in a bad accident. So That's kind of how it goes,
It is, and I mean, it's like you said, the support within this, the you see there's always it seems, some organization, whatnot, doing fundraisers to help out a fallen brother, out sister, and the support and what everybody does. It's pretty impressive.
It really is. I think the one I really enjoyed so far this year, we went with the Ever Eagle Riders, and we were raising money for the JROTC program. And here comes all these older leather-clad motorcyclists pulling up to Everett High School and come on in for a demonstration, watching all these young kids do their events, raising money for them. It was like, this is kind of ironic looking and funny and cool all at the same time. It was just a different feel to it, but it was really neat.
Yeah. So, what do you think really got the bug for you that hooked you into wanting to, continue riding it and really got you hooked on motorcycles?
Oh man. I think it's just the fun and the sense of adventure, and that's one of my favorite things. You get up in the morning, it's an early day, you got time to ride, and you just kind of point this wheel off whatever direction you're heading, and you follow it, and don't know where you're going to end up or what's going to happen, but you always run into somebody and have a good time, and that's what I really like about it. That outdoor sense of adventure, being involved with nature, the whole 9 yards. That's what really keeps me going.
And unfortunately, I mean, you're in an amazing position for, place to ride. I mean, you're at the base of the Cascades, up there off Highway 2, and man, you have some amazing country to go ride, in so many different directions and possibilities, which is it's a great place that it's a place I enjoy riding. It's fun up there and just absolutely beautiful country.
And that's one of my favorite things about being a motorcycle rider in Washington and the state in general. Whatever you want to ride in. I mean, if you want to ride to the ocean, it's not too far. If you want to ride in the mountains, that's close by. If you want to get out there in Eastern Washington and ride in the desert, that's not too far either. It's pretty amazing. It's like pick what you like, and you can go there and experience it and enjoy it. I really appreciate that about living here in Washington.
Yeah, especially I mean, yeah, because you're what 2 hours maybe to Leavenworth, and then you're basically high desert area. You keep going to Wenatchee, and yeah, go south, go north.
Yeah, yep. It's really pretty amazing that way. I spent a lot of time doing the a Canyon Road right there out of Yakima. That's one of my
Oh
favorites. I make
yes,
that trip at least once a year, usually 2 or 3 times, as I go here and there. Uh, Sometimes I even cheat, like I'm going down to the Packwood area or maybe Olympia area. To heck with it. I'll just go sneak through North Bend, buzz over I-90 and run the Canyon Road and then end up down there in Olympia somewhere.
yeah, I love going up 410, come up the backside to Chinook up the switchbacks, and then sometimes I'll run that down to Natchez and then cut up and hit Canyon Road coming back into Ellensburg. And Canyon Road is a beautiful ride, right
Yeah.
along the Yakima River down there.
One of my favorites. I enjoy that place immensely.
Yeah, I know it's summertime. You really got to watch yourself because I know State Patrol likes to really patrol that area with was it 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, which should be way more than
Uh, yeah, yes. Matter of fact, I've had a few conversations with them about that.
that. A
But
couple visits.
yeah, yep, yeah, nice roadside chats. The other thing I kind of got to watch for is the damn goats, man. I don't know if you ever noticed, but sometimes you go one direction and I turn around and come back, and what was clear highway suddenly has rocks in it, and I'm like, now wait a minute. You're looking up there. Oh, those goats, they're knocking rocks down into the road. Okay, I got it.
I've
That's
never
always,
seen them down there.
yeah, I've seen them a couple times, and it's just like weird. Goats or some other critters up there, and it's like, yep, definitely knocked some rocks down here this time.
It's like I've had some other buddies going up 97, Wenatchee up towards like Chelan, and have seen the mountain goats on the even down on the road and up on the hillside right there. I've yet to ever catch them in person though.
Yeah, they're hard to spot sometimes too. I'm That's wildlife can be dangerous. That's the other thing I suppose I look at it. But I've had people ask me that before too, as we're riding through the Wenatchee area, and it's like, man, why are you going so slow? And I'm like, well, you see this? We're riding through all these orchards, and it's just about sundown, which means they're going to be full of all kinds of deer and other great critters that love to jump out in the street. So that's why we'll take it easy on the orchard road,
Yeah, that witching hour when they like to come out.
Exactly. Yep. It seems right when the evening starts to cool down. It's like, okay, yep, there's going to be some critters in the road now.
Yeah, and those aren't fun to meet when it's a little darker.
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah, that's where the other, like me, I do, enjoy traveling, got more auxiliary lights on the front. So it's one thing I like. I mean, nighttime, I'll light it up as much as I can.
It's always a good way of going, man. I mean, visibility is pretty dang important. And yeah, nothing's worse. In fact, I remember coming back from Sturgis one time going over I-90 there at the Continental Divide, and I was wearing a full face helmet. It was going right on dusk time, and it was pounding rain, and it's like everything was gray. The inside of my helmet was fogged up. The road was gray and foggy. I mean, might as well have not had any lights. You can't see a damn thing. It's just like, I guess what I'm going to do is follow the taillights of the truck in front of me very closely and hope that he stays on the road.
Yeah. You get some of those weather conditions, man. It can be brutal.
Indeed. Yep. I've been through a bunch of those. Yeah, I'm sure you probably have too.
Well, I remember had one last fall. It was raining so hard, the rain was coming down the inside of my visor and my helmet. And it was 7 hours and like a damn monsoon.
Wow.
Never the fun way to start off a ride, that's for sure.
No. And some of those can be brutal. I remember coming back from like the Hermiston area in a sandstorm. And I mean, it was a flat out, you couldn't see probably more than 10 feet in any direction.
Oh, Jesus.
And I got hit in the face with this piece of sagebrush, and all I have is this open face bucket. Now, by the time I get to Yakima, it's finally started to clear off a little bit. I go in and wash some of the mud off my face. I looked like Lawrence of Arabia or something. I'm leaving Yakima, going up those hills, and all of a sudden it starts pelting damn hail balls, and pretty good sized ones, like marble sized ones. And that was very frustrating for me. And I got through that down into Ellensburg and coming back over I-90 the rest of the way. It was pounding rain. I just remember getting home, sitting there, feeling my face, and face is just throbbing, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, that was pretty stinking brutal, man. After that, I started trying more often to remember to take a full face bucket with me even when it seems like it's going to be a good day and you're just going for a, good afternoon ride. Yeah, maybe I want to take that if I'm traveling much.
That's why I went to a couple years with the modular. I mean, there's time where it's nice and I'll flip the whole chin bar up, kind of where it is like a 3/4. And, like you, I got caught in a hailstorm once in a half helmet. I'm like, never again. It's brutal.
Yep. You're ready to jump off the bike and just punch anybody just because they probably deserve it. Right. That's how I always felt. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Riding down the road with my arm up over my face, basically trying to protect as much of my face as I could. And that was a miserable one.
Yeah, they can be. Those hail balls can hurt. I got a pine cone one time in the dark, going 70 miles an hour. The wind's blowing, hit me right on the end of the nose. I thought it was a tree branch or something. I was digging around looking for blood. I thought for sure it dang near knocked me off the motorcycle. I found it stuck in my helmet. Little bitty pine cone. But at those speeds, even a little bitty pine cone on the end of the nose hurts, man.
I took a bumblebee once to the inside of the thigh at about 75, 80 miles an hour, and I felt like I got shot.
Oh, that doesn't
It was brutal.
That doesn't sound very nice. Yeah. In fact, I'm thinking about a time riding with family. It was my uncle, I believe, and he got hit in the chest right here. He thought he got shot for a moment, but what it must have been was a truck going by the other way. Somebody threw out a cherry, Wenatchee area, hucked a cherry up the window, and he was riding with an open shirt, hit him right in the middle, right in the breast, right here, and it just splattered. It crushed the pit, it crushed everything. He's like, we pull over to the side of the road, and there's all this red shit all over him, and it's like, you got shot or hit or something. Nope, it's a cherry. But man, it left a bruise. Damn, man.
Oh, I bet. I had once, my wife and I, we were doing a 9/11 ride. This is 15 years ago, if not maybe a little more. Had a yellow jacket go inside my helmet strap and stung me just in front of my ear.
Ouch.
That was throbbing. So I had to pull over and stop because the throbbing in my head, it was messing with my balance for a few minutes. That was brutal.
That can happen. I've been stung a few times, and I've noticed that sometimes, if they get you just right, or it's the right kind of stinging creature, it affects you for a little bit. That dizzy feeling, or you just don't feel quite right for a little bit. Had to take a break from that a couple times through the years. That's not any fun.
Yeah. Speaking like, these instance, little things that happen, what is why do you enjoy like traveling so much by motorcycle? What's the part of it that just really gets you when it comes to, traveling, taking off for a multi-day adventure?
Oh, that I like or dislike?
Both.
The thing that I always am very apprehensive about is anytime it's those 3-day weekends, like whatever it is, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. There's always, it seems like, thousands of people out there driving around with unsecured or poorly secured loads, shit falling off their truck, stuff falling off their RV, just crazy stuff. I had coming back over I-90 one time, just right about the Cle Elum area. This motorhome came out on the on-ramp and we got in front of me. And about the time that thing got up to, I'm going to say about 60 miles an hour, 5 or 6 lawn chairs blew off the roof of it, splattering all over the highway in front of me. Had to just kind of dodge through them. And I thought, that would be a hell of a way to get killed, by a freaking lawn chair.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I always am concerned about, and like to warn other riders about too, because it seems like the younger people, until you've experienced a bunch of that stuff, don't really think about it too much. And it's like, you can't be, how do I put it? You can't depend on other people to be safe for you, and well, you're a truck driver.
Yeah.
You probably know about unsecured loads too, man. I mean,
seen a few. Yeah.
yeah, that can be dangerous. Or it's the other one, when they used to have the log trucks, you ever seen the big rocks that get stuck between the duals?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen some gnarly ones that got stuck in there. It's like, holy Jesus.
Yeah, those things come flying out and they'll wake you up.
Yeah, that can ruin a day in a hurry.
Yep, and the recaps when they come apart in the hot sun, that's the other one. We used to have a bus that we'd drive to Sturgis, so we ran sound on several stages there, and we ended up with these old rag tires one time. And you know what? When they get hot and they come apart, those things are like a little bit of a bomb kind of going off, man. Boom. And then there's rubber all over the highway. So that's another thing we try and watch for. But those are the kind of the worrisome things. I think the things I really enjoy is when you get a chance to get somewhere and rallies or runs or something where there's a big camp out and poker runs happening and lots of people showing up to go on different rides. And those are the things I really look forward to as far as motorcycle trips go. That's one of the things I really love. Well, I'm sure you've probably been to quite a few yourself. So
it's something, yeah, it is fun. Getting to meet other people, camaraderie, going some places. But yeah, for me, it's just, getting out on any adventure on the bike, whether it's 2-day, 3-day, whatever. It's just, to me, it's just an amazing way to travel. If I had the chance, especially, living the area we do up here in the Pacific Northwest, Mother Nature can definitely throw some curves. So, sometimes you definitely got to pay attention to what's going to be going on with the weather the best we can with forecasts that are never right. But yeah, if I could, spend most time traveling, if it could be by bike, it's just so much more personal. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. When it rains, you get wet. When it's sunny, you're sometimes too hot. You're part of the world that you're in. You're not just isolated in a little cage with a climate control and a radio. That's one of the things I really enjoy about it a lot. And the people that just roll up and start talking to you, or people on the sidewalk that just got to say hi or whatever. And I enjoy that part a lot too.
No, absolutely. And just, yeah, it's just so different. The smells, the scents, I mean, everything. But, well, and, it can be unpleasant in Eastern Washington at times in the summer. You get some unpleasant smells depending where you're at. Sunnyside area. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Or where's the place I remember? Caldwell, Idaho, during whatever they do there, harvesting something or other, man. It's like, wow, that is strong. And for miles,
Yeah.
it's strong.
I remember I used to do a lot of trips over to Pullman. You take 26, you get by Othello, and you get some of them dairy farms. And in the summertime, it can be, oh, that was brutal.
Uh, Absolutely. And the ones I always wonder about, like you're riding somewhere, a 4-lane road, not like a highway, but a 4-lane road. And there's some ladies walking down the street on the other side, and you can smell her perfume all the way across the 4-lane road. And I'm like, wow, that's strong, man. That,
Yeah. 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 It's so much different on a motorcycle, just so much fun. The adventure.
exactly. That's part of what it's all about. I remember encountering a bear right about the top of Highway 20 one year, and it came out and was I slowed way down, but it came out and was running alongside the road, probably going 30, a little under 30, 25, something like that. And I could have reached out and poked the thing with this pen. It was that close. And then he just went down the bank behind this guardrail and off into the woods somewhere. I'm like, it's pretty amazing to see an animal that close and running right next to you. It's a experience I'll probably never forget.
Dude, it's amazing how fast bears can run. I never realized that. Had an incident with one up here on the peninsula. I was chasing it down. Well, I'm going down a log road. He jumps out in front of me, and I was pacing him at 35 miles an hour for probably 200 plus yards. It's like,
Yeah,
holy shit.
that's what I thought. I'm like looking at that bear and I'm like, he is fast. And
Yeah.
then to watch him run over and down the bank like that, and I'm like, wow, there would, if you're on foot, there's no way you're outrunning that guy. I mean, he's
No,
catching
you're
you.
hosed.
Yep. And then elk, I almost drove off the road one time. So apparently the male elk felt challenged by the loud motorcycle or something and decided to start bugling. But I hadn't seen him before he started bugling. And all of a sudden there's this horrendous noise. And I thought maybe, I don't know, a car was behind me getting ready to run me down or something. My head's going like this. Where the hell is that coming from? And then, oh, there he is, Mr. Elk, right there in the bushes. Okay, glad I didn't run off the road, but we found the source of the noise anyhow.
Yeah. Time to get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a horse with horns.
Yep. Oh, and then what's the other one? I had an encounter with a buffalo once there in Yellowstone Park, who he didn't like motorcycles either. And he was stomping and snorting and rubbing his nose on the concrete, looked like getting ready to charge. And all the people in the cars there are freaking out. And I'm like, oh, well, I think it's time for me to exit this place, and rather quickly. So I managed to get away from that. But it was kind of startling. That's a big animal.
Yeah, that is no kidding. And it's amazing how you get to, like Yellowstone. We came through part of Yellowstone a couple years ago. Me and my son and my wife and her girlfriend were following in the car, and me and son on motorcycle. And the amount of the tourists that want to go out in the field and see how close they can get and get pictures with them. Like, are you stupid?
Yeah, that can be dangerous. That can be very, very dangerous. They're not like tame animals,
No.
and it doesn't take much to upset them sometimes. And they may be friendly one moment and not very friendly the next.
Yeah, and they're not slow. Those things can move.
Yep. Yeah, you're not going to outrun it or get away. It can be very dangerous.
Yeah. And the other one that people don't think of, I mean, we don't have them so much on this side, but is moose.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only member of the antler family that the eyes do not reflect headlights.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. And they can
Yeah,
be,
so finding one at nighttime, it's gonna come up on you quick.
yeah. And they can be pretty aggressive sometimes. I've, got family that lives in Montana, and there one particular moose like to come and block their driveway when their kids were going to walk to school
Oh,
and not let
jeez.
them through. Right? We're like, what are you going to do? You're not going to go to school, obviously, because you don't want to have to go challenge the moose. So go home.
Yeah, they're freaking huge and tall.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So
Those Roosevelt elk that you got over there on the peninsula. Have you run into those?
oh, many times.
Those things are huge too, man.
Yeah. Thank God they taste so good, though.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
So the other thing you do a lot, we've been talking motorcycles, but you started the Great Motorcycle Rides Washington Facebook page, and you also now have the group going, correct?
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
So what made you want to dive into starting that page? How'd that all come about for you?
Well, through the years, I've really got a lot out of the motorcycle community, the friendship, the camaraderie, all the people, all that stuff. And then I had to take a hiatus basically for about 8 to 10 years as I was taking care of my elderly parents at the end of their lives. And so I couldn't go on any rides. I couldn't be gone longer than maybe an hour, hour and a half tops. So after both of those passed on, I decided that it's time to do what I can to see if I can't give back a little to the motorcycle community. I thought, well, maybe just by promoting rides and trying to get people out and know where the rides are, it harkens back to the old days when if you wanted to find a ride, you had to go to the motorcycle shop or the barber shop or somewhere where people would hang up flyers, and that's about how you learned about it. Thought, well, let's just try and make it a little more organized. So if you want to find a ride, it's easier and, bring people together. So that's how I started and why I started basically.
Yeah, because you post up a lot of stuff, and you get a lot of information. You're always, sharing rides, and now you got the Google Calendar going for it for Washington, and yeah, I mean, there's especially over there, the whole Puget Sound area. There's so many, different little organizations and a lot of rides going, and your page is pretty active, always, sharing up different organizations, different rides going here and there, and it's nice to have somewhere to go to get a lot of that information. If a guy wants to, tag along and go on a fun ride, or help a fundraiser or whatever's going on, you've got a wealth of information on your page.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And some of it can be used, other ways too. Like I was telling the guys today, here's the calendar link. They're going to be planning a ride in July. And it's like, here, you can look at this and see what, larger rides we know about are coming up, and maybe pick a weekend that doesn't have as much competition, or, a spot that's a little more open. Or so I think, it can help people plan things in the long term too.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, try to get the best turnout you can when you're, trying to do an event and do something for, something for a good cause.
exactly. Yeah. Yep. And you don't want to go against something when like, oh man, that event's going to have a huge draw. Everyone's going to be there. So that's maybe not the right day to put it on.
Yeah, and having that calendar is nice, especially if a guy's trying to really, pre-plan early, saying, hey, who's got what going, let me see. And no, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been fun. I've been enjoyed doing it. It's a lot of work, but
I bet.
it's a lot of fun at the same time. You get to meet a lot of people in different organizations and, make new friends. And that's kind of what it's all about.
And that's a fun part. Like I said, is meeting, going to some of these and, meeting new friends, building friendships. And, like earlier we were talking about Mikey. That's how I met him. And man, we became amazing friends and, go up there and crash his place, usually sometimes the night before his runs. And no, it's got to be, a great friendship all because, well, it comes back to motorcycles.
Exactly. And that's how I view a lot of things. Some people are weird about it, but I'm one of those guys, if you're out there on two wheels, you're like my brother or sister automatically. That's just how it works. We're all putting our lives on the line every time we put the front tire on the blacktop. So in that idea of things, we're all kind of related. We're all taking that same risk. And I think it's something that the normal car drivers and other people just don't understand. you know
Yeah. And some of them need to more open their eyes and pay a little more attention.
a lot of them
Yeah.
do. I've almost been tagged 3 times in the last month here. It's like, dang, man, wake up, wake up. And to be honest, I ride very cautiously. Learned through the years, I can't expect those guys to see me, so it's my job to know what they're going to be doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like, I'm, going down the road. I'm not only watching the car in front of me, but I'm watching the car in front of that one. And, you watch tail lights and brake lights. And, I think that goes on to another aspect. Like, a lot of people, you get a new bike and, I got to get, new exhaust. I need handlebars. And I think another aspect is lighting. It's not only at night, but get yourself seen during the day. I mean, I had a good friend bought a brand new 23 Street Glide. We were on a ride and I look in the mirror. It's like I couldn't even tell his headlight was on. He's all, no, it's new Daymaker. They're bright as can be. I'm like, dude, I can't even tell that it's on. Then he went for a night ride, a couple nights later and texted me back. He's like, dude, you weren't kidding. This headlight sucks.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. This is kind of an odd thing that I do, but um, I like to leave my headlight a little bit loose, right? So that I don't ride a ton at night, but sometimes in the evenings and stuff like that. So this dang thing shakes, right? So the
Hmm.
headlight vibrates, and it's like, just to me, it attracts extra attention. The shaking light is better than the solid light. You know.
Yeah, mine does a little bit on my road glide. The frame shakes a little bit, so does my headlight. But then I also have auxiliary driving lights on my brake calipers that are pretty bright. And plus, I mean, I have another set of 4.5 inch. Um, who the hell? Total brain for who makes it, but I have those mounted on my crash bars, and I can turn those on. It'll get people's attention,
Nice.
but
Yeah.
especially nighttime. I mean, it's like I want to see everything I can, and plus, I want people to see me.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, the other thing I always forget when I get caught out at night, I'm always wearing these, right? Guess what? It's dark. You probably shouldn't be wearing these dark glasses, man. It's like
Yep.
every year I have to remember, go get a set of clears and throw them in your saddlebag or in your trunk or somewhere.
Yeah,
Because
I keep a pair of clear ones. And then I had a pair of the ones I loved at nighttime where they were, I mean, safety glasses, but they had a slight blue tint to them, and it cut the glare out of headlights coming at you. And
oh
I
wow.
kept those in a little like a beer koozie cup. I kept
Hmm.
them inside the cup to keep them from getting scratched up and keep them in my tour pack.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm what did I have? Some yellow ones or something, some kind of a weird color. Maybe it was blue, yellow. I don't remember. But yeah, they really helped with the glare, you know. That's the other thing that can be bad, especially if you're wearing a helmet with a visor. Dang,
Yeah,
man, that glare can kill you.
it can be brutal. There's even times when I used to even in my car, I'd wear them at night driving before I, tinted the windows so it didn't bother me as much.
Oh yeah. And then that's the other thing about riding at night now. Is have you noticed it seems like everybody and their uncle has these super bright blinding lights now. They can't
Oh
be
yeah.
just regular lights. They got to be stuff that scares you. It's like you can't see anything anymore.
Oh yeah, they want to. Yeah, those new LED headlights. A lot of the new cars are coming out with at nighttime. Man, they can be freaking brutal on the eyeballs.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's like I don't know if people stop dimming their lights or it's just all the lights are so bright now. But
They're pretty damn bright.
yep.
So up in your area, you got a favorite? Say you're going to go out for a 2-3 hour ride. You got a kind of a favorite one that really speaks to you, so to speak.
Yeah, there's you know several, of course, multiple ones, but I think my favorite. I like to do a little loop where I kind of go out of Snohomish and take the what do they call it, High Bridge Road, down in through the backside of Monroe, and then I take the Ben Howard Road out the back way to Sultan, then come across it through Index, and I take they call it Avenue A or Reeder Road out of Index on the way back, and that's a fantastic ride, man. I kind of make a little loop out of it. Takes maybe a couple hours, but beautiful country. Especially, I love the Avenue A out of Index because it's like a very, very skinny road. It won't lots of turns and it goes up and down these mountains, and there's basically nobody out there. So that's
Oh,
that
perfect.
little, yeah, by by the river in between the mountains, just paradise for me.
I enjoyed it a few times. I'd found a couple summers ago, just when my daughter used to live up there, is taking like 9 from Arlington and going all the way up to Cedar Woolley. That was a nice ride.
Absolutely. I love that section of Highway 9, and I travel it regularly during the riding season. I'm go up that way quite a lot. Um, especially, Evelyn's Tavern up there in Clear Lake. I don't know if you've ever been there, but that's definitely a place to check out. I think they have bike nights there now twice a month, but very motorcycle friendly place. Great place to go and get a bite to eat and enjoy their beer garden around back. Especially on the Oyster Run Sunday. That's if you can get in there on Oyster Run Sunday. It's
Yeah, big
it's
deal.
pretty crowded.
Yeah, the wish for me that's a big deal up here in the Northwest. I mean, I think this year's well, I guess it'd be last year now. We're in 25, but there was a hell of a turnout last year for it.
Yeah, yeah, it's become absolutely huge. Um, I don't know if you went on it back in the day. I'm old enough to remember when actually the Oyster Run was still a run, and we all left the California Tavern there in Marysville as a group. And as that grew, it became a sight to see. I mean, you'd have 5 to 7,000 motorcycles all leaving the city of Marysville at one time, and
That's a
that's
hell
of
of
course
a
why they
pack.
don't do it anymore, right? It just got too big. But man, that was amazing. The last couple of years that they all left as a group.
Oh, I bet that's one heck of a mob going.
Exactly. And they didn't even need blockers really. The state patrol came out and took care of all that. So that was actually pretty cool. They'd have police blocking the intersections, and was actually really amazing.
Oh, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I never experienced it with that.
Yeah, if I remember right, it finally ended up getting so big that the city of Marysville said you can't do this anymore. If you're going to do it, you have to buy a parade permit and spend a whole bunch of money, and that just wasn't going to work. So
Yeah.
then they changed it to ride your own ride. Everyone show up in Anacortes.
Yeah, everybody and a lot of people. Well, if you want to go, you better make plans in advance to get places to stay. That's for sure.
Yep, because it's going to be full. And I think
But
that's the only day in the state that the Washington ferries don't board motorcycles first. I think they just recently changed that.
well, not when I well, shoot. No, coming back because there were so many. They let half of us on from Coopville and then put a bunch of cars and then filled the whole back.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm
But
sure
then
this.
it got and I remember this year because me and a buddy went and we were going over and they canceled the Port Townsend ferry because low tide.
Oh,
It was
wow.
low tide or they didn't have a crew. So going over, I couldn't catch the ferry because I went over Saturday the day before and had to go to Edmonds. I'm like, well, piss on it. If I'm taking Edmond Kingston, I'm just buying my round trip ticket because it's so much easier. One of the perks of riding the ferries in Washington. You go right to the dock, you're first on. And we're leaving the oyster run on Sunday, and we got down almost to the 20 I-5 junction, and I got a notification on my phone they closed I-5 ever because of fatality motorcycle wreck. And
Oh,
you've
wow.
seen, oh, there was motorcycles making U-turns everywhere, and like everybody's heading to Coopville, and they got down there, ended up on, missing one ferry on standby, and everybody's waiting. So we filled up a little restaurant across the way, waiting for the next ferry. But that one got crowded just because so many people were planning on going the other way. But you ended up having to take that ferry, and so it got a little bombarded with motorcycles for last year.
I think I heard something about that, and I'm glad you kind of cleared that up for me. I heard it was a disaster down there. A lot of people
Yeah,
waiting.
it was. Yeah, when they shut down I-5, and it's just became a shit show. I'm like, I'm not even going to try. We'll flip around and just take our luck trying to catch a ferry.
Wow. Yeah, so you probably take that, the Coopville to Port Townsend ferry then, right?
Yeah, I mean, and going up through the island, up through Whidbey Island on 20, it's a great ride. And generally, if I'm going up there anywhere up in the Skagit, I'll preferably take the Port Townsend ferry. I mean, for one, it's cheaper, which is funny because it's a whole state agency. But if I want to go to Kingston and take the ferry, it's going to cost me a little more money. If I take Port Townsend, it's less. It's like whatever. But I love the ride up through the island, up through Whidbey Island, Fidalgo Island. Just 20 is one of my favorite roads to ride, especially the North Cascades.
Yeah, I love that. And then over there in your neck of the woods, I'm trying to remember, there's a section I really love. Let's see. You get out there in Port Townsend and you head out of town, and it's that section between Port Townsend and where Fat Schmitty's is, where it goes up the
Oh,
mountain alongside the water there.
that's Highway 20. Actually, Highway 20 starts in Discovery Bay right there at Fat Smitty's. That's where 20 starts.
Okay. Yeah, I love that section of road, man. One of my favorites in the state too. I really
It
love that.
is a fun little section.
See, what's the other one? The section I really like is that oh man, going down into Clarkston, Washington, the old highway. I don't know if you're looking
Yes.
at where it does all those
The old
snake
Spiral
loops.
Highway.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that thing.
I'll be hitting that in July. Actually, possibly maybe June also. I'm going to Montana. I got 2 trips going there. Wife wants to go to Montana in June for our 25-year anniversary, and it's like, let's take the bike and take off for 4 days. And she wants to do a ride 1K in a day and see if she can do 1,000-mile day. I'm like, hey, if you want, let's go.
Yep, that's a lot of riding in a day, man. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all ways.
So if we do that, we'll just take 90 the whole way. She's like, I just want to get it done as fast as we can. Like, well, best way to do a saddle sore is you hit the interstate. But
Yeah.
coming back, told her, said, Lolo Pass is a great ride. She doesn't like cliffs, but there's no cliffs here along the river the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, it's a beautiful ride. Then we can hit down Lewiston, do the old Spiral Highway, and come back that way. So yeah, we'll see how everything plays out. But yeah, I got a couple trips planned over there. But that old Spiral Highway, them are some tight corners. You're talking 5-10 mile an hour corners, but it
Yeah.
is beautiful. And then actually talk about Clarkston, run Highway 3 and go all the way down to LeGrand. That is a gorgeous ride.
Yes.
Or is it 129 in Washington? Then it goes to 3 in Oregon, I think, if I remember right, or vice versa. But I've done that a couple of times, and that's absolutely beautiful.
Yep. Great places. Man, I can't remember that town. I think it's north of. If you're going up the Idaho-Washington border and you're on the Washington side, it's in between that area and Pullman. But I pulled into that little tiny town on it was a Memorial Day weekend, and man, it was like the Twilight Zone. There was no people on the street. There was no cars driving. I mean, it was like, where's Rod Serling? There's no noise. There's no
Sounds like
barking dogs. I'm like, this is just weird. But
the little town sounds like Union. It's a little tiny, you blink, you miss it town. A couple big grain silos and some old brick buildings.
that sounds familiar. Yeah, it's like just seems just so odd. It's like, wow, I'm in this town and I'm the only person here, man.
Speaking of which, since you're a longtime Washington guy, have you ever been over to the Grand Coulee Dam and watch a laser show off the dam during the summertime at night?
I haven't watched. I've been to the dam lots of times, but I've never been there to see the laser show.
Wife and I did that a couple years ago, and we went to Sturgis. We came back, took our time, went through central Montana, and we stayed in Electric City. And we've always wanted to see it for so many years, and finally it's like, cool, we got a little hotel, mom and pop place, literally across the street from the dam. So we, walked up, sat on the little grassy knoll there, and watched a laser show. It's actually pretty freaking cool.
Oh, I bet. That sounds amazing. I might have to look into that, see when that's going on. That sounds like something I don't want to miss.
Yeah, I think they do it almost every night. Just got to look at as the days get longer for when it starts. And obviously, it's got to be somewhat dark, but it is cool because the whole laser show talks about the history of the Grand Coulee Dam and everything, and it's pretty cool to see.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. That sounds like something I'm going to put on the bucket list, man, for sure. That sounds like a lot of fun.
And then, have you done Dry Falls down by Soap Lake there?
Yes, I have. I haven't been that way in quite a few years, but actually, I'm planning another trip that way because I want to get out there and get some good footage of that ride, just for the YouTube channel and post that up because that is a really pretty cool area there too. It's that back highway when you go out of Wenatchee and you're heading towards Dry Falls, and there's all the cliffs.
I can't remember the name of it. Yep. But if
Yeah.
you stop at Dry Falls, there's a ice cream stand there now, a little trailer with makes homemade ice cream. Oh, it's so good.
Right outside of Dry Falls.
Yeah, right at Dry Falls, they set up there kind of in the parking lot. So there's a little food vendor, and you can go. Yeah, the ice cream is amazing.
Wow, I'll have to go check that one out. That's for sure. I was hoping to get out that way this year. There's a few of those that I'm always like, man, I'm going to go film that ride. And man, one year comes into another, and it's like, okay, I didn't make it yet this year. I'm going to do it next year. But slowly, I'm knocking them off the list. Slowly, I'm getting there. It's like I want to head back over to your area there sometime soon and do what is that? Right up to Hurricane Ridge.
Yeah,
That's kind of a fun one. And I don't have any good footage of that. So it's like, I should probably get over there and do that one of these days sometime soon.
it's a good ride. I mean, it is beautiful, especially get a good clear day. Of course, there's no lodge up there anymore, but hopefully they're going to supposedly rebuild it. What I've read, but of course, that comes down to money and funding.
Yeah. It burned, didn't it? It burned down.
Yeah, they were doing a remodel, and I want to say it caught fire in the middle of the night, and it burnt to the ground.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, but it's still a good ride. I think I'll have to try and head up that way,
Especially in the summertime, you get a nice, day that it's fully clear. Oh, the views up there are absolutely amazing. It's some great. Plus, it's a fun ride.
Exactly. This reminds me another one that I really like to do a lot. I don't know if you've ever been up the Mountain Loop Highway out of Granite Falls.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because it doesn't get a ton of traffic because, for most motorcyclists, it's a dead end, right? It goes, whatever it is, 30, 40 miles out up into the wilderness and then stops. There is Barlow Pass, and I've ridden through Barlow Pass several times, but unless you want to ride your motorcycle on about 20 miles of dirt road, you're probably going to be turning around. So, but it's an absolutely beautiful ride up there out of Granite.
Huh, I'll have to check that out sometime.
Yeah. And if you're feeling adventurous or you're on a dual sport or something, Barlow Pass is a very, very cool ride.
No, I don't got a dual sport, just the roadglide.
Okay.
I would like to get an adventure bike sometime for some of that fun. Even something like the BDR roads, and that'd be a lot of fun.
It's an absolute blast. Now, where was that? Oh, Mount Baker Highway. So this is like 2 years ago. Have you been up Mount Baker Highway? Was that 541 up to the top of Mount Baker?
No, I've been up towards the bottom of it, but never up the highway. I'd like to.
That's an awesome ride. That itself is lots of switchbacks, twists and turns, right on the edge of the cliffs with no guardrail. All the good stuff. But see, I was up there and I went to film. What's that called? Nooksack Falls, which is down this dirt road. And I rode down there and I did my filming as everything was going. I'm getting ready to leave, and it's like, man, I have to take a leak really bad. And I'm looking around, and the whole place is full of like tourists and campers and people taking pictures. And it's like, I can't do that here. I guess I'll go up this road. So I start going up the road, and it gets skinnier and skinnier and more like a logging road. But there's still people on mountain bikes and stuff. It's like, I got to go up here further. And I finally get to towards the end of it. And here's all these dudes. They're sitting there on their dirt bikes and all their full dirt bike gear. And they're like sitting there eating their sack lunches. And here comes me rolling up on an old Dyna, right? Leather jacket, cigarette hanging out of my mouth. And I'm like, what's up, you guys? And they're like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I had to take a leak, man. It was just the funniest damn thing to see the look on those guys' faces.
Well, it's like last year on, I think it was Mikey's Break Your Butt In ride. I never knew about Mount Evans up on, I think technically that'd be Fidalgo Island. Going up on top with the view of the sound and Cherry Point and all that area. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Yep. That's the other fun part about motorcycling, right? There's still places we haven't been yet that need to be discovered by us, right? That's one of the things I always like about it the most.
That's some of, other people, everybody, I want to, ride England and all these other places. Like, if you stop and think how much we have within our own borders, like, man, there's so much to explore that none of us seen them. That's part of the reason I love traveling. If I can do, say, 75-80% of it on back highways and stay off the interstate, it's the most funnest way to travel. And I have so much more fun. And you get to see America. You get to find these little mom and pop places in the middle of nowhere that you end up, like myself, I got bookmarks and Google Maps of all these cool little hole in the wall places that we found to eat at. And it's like, dude, I ever get back here, I got to come back here. Or you share it with all the camaraderie with the community. Hey, you're from this area, check out this place. And, it's just, that's the adventure.
Yeah. That's, the one that comes to mind for me is what is it? The BZ grocery store. I don't know if you ever rode the Klickitat Loop out of.
No.
So it's down there on the Washington-Oregon border along the Columbia, and it's just comes off up the Washington side, rides up the canyon almost all the way to the base of Mount Adams, and then comes back around and makes a loop back down into the gorge down there. And we're pulling into that grocery store. It's like the middle of nowhere, man. And those people were so nice and kind. And it's like, oh, yeah, here, let us make you up some lunch, man. And I'm like, well, you don't got to do that. And they're like, oh, no, we're glad to have you here. It's like, just good people, cool places. And I think that ride, I saw more squirrels than I saw cars and trucks. So it was definitely a cool, fun ride.
See, a friend of mine took me on one down there. We were doing, the hell ride was it? It was one for one of my Mile Monster rides. And it was a side highway. Oh, there it is, out of Goldendale that looped through the country and the canyons out there. Holy crap, it was the coolest freaking ride. Then drops you down on the Columbia, probably. I'm trying to look on a map here. I don't know, 40 miles west of Hermiston or something like that, but you're on the Oregon side. But it was the absolute most awesome back highway in Goldendale throughout the country. Trying to freaking find it. But yeah, that was a absolutely cool freaking ride. All these twists and turns in the canyons down there through Southeast Washington. It was such a cool ride.
Yeah, there's some amazing places out there. Have you been to the Stonehenge, man?
Oh yeah.
Yep. I always find that just so amazing. It's like, yep, you just go up Highway 14 until you see a sign that says no gas for 80 miles or something, and you're there. It's like, okay, this is the middle of nowhere, but it's dang cool,
It is pretty cool. And the cool part is it's a memorial.
Yeah, World War I memorial.
Yeah, I think they've changed. Yeah, for all branches of the service, for everybody. For all your veterans of Klickitat County.
Okay.
Every pillar is a different branch of service. You had a Coast Guard pillar, Army pillar, Navy pillar, Marine, and all their, the names of everybody on it, and it's pretty cool.
It's very cool, and it's well worth the trip. You know what I mean? It's an odd thing in an odd location, but it's actually really cool.
So the Bickleton Highway. That's the one out of Goldendale.
Okay.
I finally found it.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
a
that is an absolutely cool freaking ride.
mhm. I'll have to make sure I go look that one up. I'm not sure if I've been on that before or not.
I never have, but a good friend of mine, Frank Orlando, lives down in Yakima. He does a lot of stuff with the Yakima Hog Chapter, the Rattlesnake Hog Chapter. He's one of their photographers, and the guy is a riding fool. And he's all, hey, we got to go this way, and took us down. And oh man, it was an absolute amazing ride.
Yeah, there's some really amazing places. I keep swearing I'm going to stop in. I want to go to the Hinsey Dinosaur Park, and it's like, man, I go past that place once or twice a year, and I still haven't made it. But I'm going to make it there.
Where's that at?
It's over there in Eastern Washington. It's just like I think it's the Hinsey. I think is the name of the town, and they have a
Okay.
whole big theme park there just dedicated to dinosaurs. It's like, yeah, I want to stop in and take some pictures of that just to check it out. So another thing
Yeah,
that's
never
on my
heard of that
list,
one.
yeah. Oh yeah, there's plenty of weird stuff and strange things in the state, that we just got to find the time and the energy to get out there and go get it done.
Oh yeah, there's definitely plenty of places to go see and explore.
Exactly. I'm still a little light in that northeast corner of the state. I got to get up that way a little bit more, but yeah, that's a bit of riding from here.
It is. Yeah, I got a trip planned through there running 20 all the way through to 2 in Spokane and then looping around Flathead Lake and
Hmm.
then back over Lolo Pass and back to Port Annis. Do that. That's my yearly fundraiser for Mile Monsters. I think this year it's mapped out at 1,627 miles with the goal to do it 36 hours.
That's a lot of riding, man.
It is. And that's, the challenge of it. And, part of with Mile Monsters, it's a nonprofit that do a lot of stuff with, but we support and help a group of young boys that have Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. There's no cure for it. It's a muscle wasting disease. And these boys, usually 9 to 10, will be in a wheelchair. So, you put together some of these rides that seem like that are a challenge. It's not easy to do. You get tired, you get fatigued. But for me, it's like I can use that as fuel because what I'm feeling at that time is nothing to what the boys go through every day of their lives as they're fighting this disease that a lot of these young boys won't make it out of their late teens before the disease will take their heart. And so, we do within Mile Monsters anything and we can do to help them live their best lives and, raise money to help the family with things they need. And so it's just, I put on a yearly run called Monsters Over Mountains, and this year's the 4th year of it. And, you got people that come from all over the country. Usually it's a group of anywhere from 5 to 10, the long distance adventure riders that want to come, push the envelope and challenge ourselves. And plus, as me, it's like, we live up here in the Northwest, so it's cool to take some of these people out of the area and show them some little hidden gems and places that we have up here to see in the Northwest.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing, man. It's a lot of riding, and it's for a great cause. That's the best part, man.
Yep.
That's the thing that really always tugs at my heart. It's like when we can get out there, enjoy riding, have a good time, build camaraderie, and raise money for a good cause at the same time. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean,
No, and we do the old vagabond biker style. Generally, you get at least 1,000 miles in the first day. Find a little place to pull off, throw bedroll on the ground, sleep next to the bike for 3-ish hours, 2, 3, 4 hours. Get up and hit the road again,
oh man,
and
that
just
sounds
go.
like the old days, man. I've done plenty of that. Uh, String a tarp there from the front handlebar to the back sissy bar and pull the other end out, and there's your tent.
Yeah, or just throw the mattress little. I've gotten bougie now. I'll take my little inflatable air mattress and put the pump in it, blow it up, and throw my sleeping bag down. But you have to do it for a few years and camp one night, one of the loops with your Bonner's Ferry, and it was June, but it got freaking cold that night, and I had a sleeping bag that wasn't rated for that cold as it was, and told myself this will never happen again. So I got a
Yeah,
0-degree bag. I'm not getting cold because, man, my feet are, I get cold. It's like, yeah, sleep ain't happening. That was a miserable night, but we made it.
those things happen. That's part of the motorcycle adventure, right? The
Yeah.
It seems like it's always the most challenging times are the ones that you'll never forget. You
Oh,
know.
for sure. And, I don't care how many times you take an adventures. You're going to learn something every time. There's going to
Yep.
be something that happens, and you know, everyone's going to be a little education, and then that's the fun part is you get to know other people, or you bring people into that crazy lifestyle that you enjoy. Like for me, it's the long distance and the adventure riding, and you bring in more people and you help educate them, and then they'll do more adventures and share stories back and forth. And it's like, hey, have you ever thought of this? I'm like, no, but that's a good idea. And it's just the little things, and I don't know, it's just part of the fun.
Uh,
Educate yourself.
it is part of the fun, and meeting new people, making new friends. That's kind of how I always really enjoyed it. I've just found it amazing how sometimes you can just show up at a place or a town, and it's like, man, some guy's adopting you. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, come on over. We're gonna have beer and a barbecue, and it's like, man, you don't know me from anybody, but yeah, sure, I'll be there. Let's go. It'll be fun. I've always
Exactly.
enjoyed that. I thought, man, there's no better way to travel than that. It's kind of like the world is your friend, and I've always enjoyed
Yep.
that.
Very true. So, well, shoot, John, man, thank you for coming and hanging out and having
Well,
fun. It's like I said, I got all these lists of questions, but we just sit here talk. It's like, well, I think I got 3 of them done, but hey, that's okay because I
yeah,
had fun. It's a good time, and you build that camaraderie. To me, that's what it's about. The friendships and the people I've got to meet doing this, and the friendships just keep growing. And
that's what
thank
it's
you
about.
for hanging out and coming to share some stories and adventures.
Hey, it was a blast, man. Yep, absolutely. I'll be definitely watching for your podcasts in the future too, man. That's it turned me on to a hip new thing. I kind of like that. So
It's fun.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So don't go anywhere. Hang on a minute. So, everybody, hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks, as I was going to do it next Sunday. And then I looked at the calendar, and that's Mother's Day. So I got to be smart and do Mother's Day with my wife and the family. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with Milepost 150. I got a couple guests lined up. We're going to see who's going to take the slot. And then we'll have fun. So, hey, you guys enjoy the open road, have fun, and we'll catch you in the crossroads.